really get a picture of all the currents that sort of intersect in Lismore at the moment. You know, there is climate disaster, there is activism against the fossil fuel industry, there's rising fascism. 2012, the fracking industry got exploration licences over our whole region. Bentley was only 15 minutes from Lismore and it got huge. It just turned into the biggest social movement encampment. It was, you know, it was sort of Australia's Standing Rock. It was such a big standoff, the government crumbled, called off the entire operation. So we had the Bentley win in 2014. 2022, that flood was the climate disaster. We got a flood that was 2.5 metres higher than record. Now 2.5 metres is enough to drown a person. So for example, in this house, came up to here, you know, and this house is way off the ground. Now that flood completely incapacitated the emergency services and the government. Those waters rose overnight, and by dawn it was flooding way beyond anything anyone had ever experienced. Some people had climbed into roofs and were at risk of getting trapped by further rising water. Most people were on top of roofs. I was here, we had the boat tied up, ready to go, which we normally do in floods, and by dawn my neighbours were calling for help. All I could say was, I'm just waiting for first light, and as soon as first light came I went out, and there was neighbours on every roof. But what happened was the remarkable story of Lismore, because without any prior network, without any prior organisation, I wasn't the only boat getting on the water at that moment. Thousands of boats, kayaks, jet skis, hit the water spontaneously, self-organisation. The self-organisation and the rapid self-organisation of this community in that disaster. It was so fast, it was so rapid, it was beyond anything the government could do. So a couple of hours after dawn, I'm taking people off roofs, I'm taking them over to high ground, and when I drop them at high ground, there is someone putting a towel on them, who I don't know, putting it, this is where I get teary, putting a towel on. This is just where it gets real. But putting a towel on them, taking them into homes, giving them food, and the accounts from those people were like, who organised this? Yeah. Who did this? Yeah. And no one organised it as such. It was self-organised. It was just the community doing it. And so not only was there 1,000 tinnies saving people's lives, there was thousands of people at the edge just taking them in.
The sad truth is it's replicated 1 million times over in every country. Like, I mean, if I give you one example, Pakistan. Pakistan has had, in the last 15 years, 3 massive flooding events, and each time about 20 million people got displaced. What I think we're struggling against in trying to get off fossil fuels that's driving the crisis is, how do we make sure that this doesn't become the new normal?